Welcome, everybody, to Straight Shoot, a wrestling podcast. Con and I are both back this week, both extremely exhausted, maybe a little bit malnutritioned, and very, very much sleep deprived.
Yeah.
We've just come out of the greatest, largest, and most extravagant WrestleMania weekend of all time. Con, before we get into this first video, how are you feeling?
Brother, I don't know if there's words to put into how I'm feeling. That was just a crazy, crazy weekend. All I know is, as a proud Cody crybaby, man, it was just the greatest weekend ever. I've never enjoyed wrestling this much. Oh my God, I had so much fun. I know. Play that small violin for Roman Reigns right there, because his title reign is over. But dude, like, between the subathon, between everybody coming in and out of the chat, and of course interacting with all these great wrestling creators over this past week, it has just been an absolutely exhausting week, but so worth it. I love WrestleMania season.
Yeah, so do I. And Con, we're gonna start this entire week off of all our straight shoot videos with our favorite moments of WrestleMania, and we're not going to just do night one and then night two. Those are going to be later videos in the week, but what we're going to do is we're going to break down some of our favorite moments of the entire weekend. That could be from, leading SmackDown leading into night one, the cliffhanger of night one, entrances, what have you, but we're going to break down some of our favorite moments. So Con, I'm going to let you start. And let's start in order, though.
Okay.
And let's go to the end of the show. So let's start in order, and I'm going to let you lead this off. And let's talk about one of your favorite moments of the weekend.
That would be Rhea Ripley's entrance to begin the whole show. Look, Rhea Ripley is becoming a bigger star every time we see her on the TV. And WrestleMania, I don't know about you, but it felt like this was the coronation of a true megastar in the women's division. Beating Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, clean in the center of the ring, getting that great intro with that band. What's the name of the band again? I'm sorry?
Motionless in White.
There you go.
They're actually a Pittsburgh, I believe, area band as well, so they were from Pennsylvania, so no wonder they got the pop that they deserved.
And that's really cool that they had a local band who actually is the vocalist and the band for Rhea Ripley's entrance coming on out. It's just really cool. The makeup that they had on as well, looking like Rhea Ripley. I thought it felt like a WrestleMania entrance, and it was just a great way to kind of kick off the show.
I completely agree. I think that entrance might be one of my favorite entrances of all time, just because like she got into it. Like a lot of times when there's a band involved, you're like, okay, like they're just gonna walk the aisle. Nah, she took her time. Mm-hmm. She sang with the band. She like literally was lip syncing the whole way down. I don't even think she was lip syncing. I think she was
just screaming it. Yeah.
So I think that entire thing was just a great performance all the way through. And I do want to say, like, after that, during that entire match, I give so much credit to Becky Lynch fighting, what was it, strep throat with a fever of 102.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I've been that sick before. I know what a fever of 102 feels like, and that's when you feel loopy and delusional. So big shout out to Becky Lynch for being able just to get through that.
Yeah.
And I hope she takes at least a little bit of a break and gets herself healed up before maybe she signs a new contract.
Maybe. Let's hope. Becky Lynch is too damn good to not come back. Like we saw it in the main event against Nia Jax. Like people were like, I'm not sure if I want to see Becky Lynch win the championship because Rhea's on such a roll, which is completely fair. But Becky Lynch showed why she's in the spot that she is. She is just absolutely incredible at everything she does and reliable. Like if you can go out there at WrestleMania weekend in the cold weather that was night one of Philadelphia, plus put on the match she put on, with that fever, with strep throat, I mean, kudos to Becky Lynch.
No, great for her. So one of my favorite moments of the night, especially on night one, was actually the entire start of the show.
Okay.
And that was Triple H, Paul Levesque coming out and welcoming the 70,000+ to Philadelphia, to WrestleMania. His WrestleMania, his first WrestleMania of the, as Stephanie, and we'll get into that later, as Stephanie alluded to, the Paul Levesque era, and actually how Paul Heyman at the Hall of Fame as well alluded to.
What
the
a great
Paul Levesque
moment with Paul at the Hall of Fame too.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. We maybe
we'll
talk about it, but like, oh my God, that brought a tear to my eye.
But I will say this, the biggest thing for me with Triple H coming out was, first off, the reception of the crowd, because the crowd really understood what Triple H was doing. And I think if anyone didn't realize, that was Triple H coming and putting his footprint and his final marker on, this is my business now.
Yeah, 100%.
This is mine. And what you're about to witness comes from the genius that I am. What I have learned from Vince McMahon through the years.
What he learned from the last 40 years of WrestleMania.
Exactly. What I've learned, what was done right, what was done wrong, because I'll say this, not much was done wrong on that night, on either one of those nights. So Triple H coming and putting that final, nail in the coffin of the last 40 years and being like, now we're going into what is going to be my future, the future that I'm going to the ride that I'm going to take you guys on. And I loved it. Yeah. I thought
it's his era now. His era now. Yeah. And you could also feel that it was his era in the tag team ladder match that I actually really enjoyed. I know some people weren't completely thrilled with it, but for me, that ladder match just had everything. Like the fact that it was different, having the two titles hung up and you had two separate championships you were going after. I know maybe it was a little weird for some people because they're used to like one title hanging in the center, and when the title gets pulled down, that's the end of the match. But the way that they were able to get the titles onto A-Town Down Under and then get the heat like right on them again, with like they won the tag titles, put them through the table or the ladder, whatever the hell it was, and like just move on through the matchup until you got that big moment with R-Truth finally getting a WrestleMania moment. And like, yeah, you got to feel a little bad for the Judgment Day, but you can't feel too bad because they do have 2 world titles with them now.
Yes, they do.
Which is awesome, actually. We'll talk more about that in a hot minute. But like, it was just great to see like R-Truth get a WrestleMania moment. Honestly, he's been crushing it. And I think, people wouldn't have been thrilled with just Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth. So this was a very unique way to get the titles on him.
Was it too predictable?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people predicted that A-Town Down Under was going to win one, or I was off with my predictions, so it wasn't too predictable for me, but I know a lot of people definitely picked A-Town Down Under and Awesome Truth. So, yeah, to an extent, it was predictable, but I think this was one of those matches where it was all about not about the destination, but the ride, right? All these spots that we had along the way, the uniqueness of the match. It felt like a WrestleMania match, and it worked for me.
Yeah, and it's not WrestleMania without a ladder match at this point, especially a really dominant ladder match. I really enjoyed it, and through that, we got to see the title split, which we desperately needed.
Yes.
I found it pretty predictable because of just how well Grayson Waller and Austin Theory have been doing. They needed something for Austin Theory. Desperately, they needed something for Austin Theory, and they were able to put something together, which was great. You know what? I'm gonna say, and we're doing as favorite moments of WrestleMania, so I'm not gonna go through every single match on the night one card. I'm gonna jump straight to Sammy Mania 2.0.
Oh yeah.
And I am going not just to Sammy winning the IC title. It's how he won the IC title. The paying homage to his old character in El Generico with the neck breaker from the top rope, which I don't think I've ever seen him do in WWE.
No, we have not. Maybe NXT. He might have pulled it out early NXT. I cannot confidently say, but main roster Sami Zayn? No.
Never. And the thing is, I know I've seen him do it on the apron.
Okay.
But I've never seen it from the top rope. Oh, and so the fact he did it with a near 290, 300-pound Gunther scared the living daylights out of me because I thought it was a botched move for a second. And then I realized I had to play back in my head. I'm like, yo, they allowed him to do that.
Triple H's era.
Yeah. And then the Helluva kick and just the pop from the crowd. Everything played into what Sami Zayn deserved. And that 666-day reign will never be forgotten by any wrestling fan, because Gunther did what he preached. He did that title justice. He made it relevant again. And now, guess what we're paying attention to?
Yeah, I see title.
Sammy's title reign. And we saw it on Monday Night Raw when we're like, is Gable going to turn?
Mm-hmm.
It felt like the IC title was just as important as the world title and pure elevation. So thank you to Gunther for making that title relevant again, because of the people he beat and how he carried that. So huge shout out to Gunther, but big shout out to Sammy, because I don't think there was anyone more deserving. I know the fans were like, oh, it needs to be Gable. It needs to be Gable. It didn't yet.
Yes, and I agree with you on that.
Soon.
There's something to be said about looking at last year's Mania and then this current year's Mania and saying, how do we take the stars that we elevated last year and make them bigger? And they did exactly that. You got to feel for Kevin Owens when you look at it that way, because Sammy got his moment and Kevin was the one who took the pinfall. They're not on the same level anymore. Sammy has surpassed Kevin Owens in the eyes of the fans, at least in the current day of WWE.
Yes.
So it's really good to see that they're elevating everybody across the card. Hopefully they'll continue to elevate Kevin Owens. He was at least in a title match. But I got something else I really enjoyed, and I'm going to dial this back a little bit. I love the presentation of the women in the 6-man tag match. Not saying the six-woman tag match was the best thing on the card, but the entrances for the Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai coming down, having that great entrance with all the umbrellas spinning and then showing them, they looked like stars, to be perfectly honest. But then having Jade, Bianca, and Naomi come down on the Robert Roode glorious platform, and then all of their theme songs play. I just thought the entire presentation was awesome. They looked like mega stars, and it was just really cool to see at WrestleMania for 3 black women to get that type of presentation.
Absolutely. And I love how they're really building that this is a dream team. And I really like that there's a bit of grit to it, because all I've been screaming for 2 years is give Bianca some form of grit, and maybe putting her in a trios faction with these 2 others is what she needed. Yeah. And I'm enjoying watching Bianca on screen.
At least it's something away from a championship. And I mean, that's awesome to hear you say that. But like, like it's just something away from the championship. And that's what makes a lot of wrestling really fun, is that you have the build up before the championship. You have all these connections along the way. And then when it finally comes time to pull the trigger, well, then you have great stories at your fingertips. So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Did you notice the little homage to like Julia Hart in that entrance?
The hat? Yeah.
Naomi completely ripped off Julia Hart's hat.
Completely.
I loved it. Also part of that match, the one thing I will say, the best gear of all of WrestleMania was Dakota Kai. Hands down.
Michael Cole saying that I would be Dakota Kai's brave. I wouldn't be wearing that. And then Corey Graves being like, oh, I can't picture you in that, Cole. Like, get that out of my head.
But like it was kind of a cool gear, because I think it was one of the first times that we've seen someone do a Disney character since Alexa Bliss when she did Buzz Lightyear.
Who was the Disney character? I didn't pick up on that.
She did Scar.
Oh, really?
Scar from The Lion King. Yeah.
I did not pick up on that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was 100% Scar from The Lion King. She even posted on our social media later.
Well then, awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
so
that's a pretty cool moment.
Cool. I really enjoyed it. Anyway,
yeah.
so,
I wonder why.
I love me some Charlie, and yes, Drew McIntyre, because I am in her community on Twitch, I will call her Charlie.
But then there's something else that was awesome that happened, and we're gonna talk about the main event of night 1. All right, because I don't know about you, the first 20 minutes of this, the entire time I'm sitting there like, oh, is this gonna pick up? Oh, is this going to pick up? Like, where are we going with this? What's going to happen? How is this going to get to the point where Cody just has zero chance? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It felt so slow going out to the crowd to begin with. But those final 20 minutes of that match, I was hooked. I could not take my eyes off the screen. The storytelling of all 4 involved, top tier. Top of this world. Yep. Seth Rollins deserves so much praise for what he did this WrestleMania. Without Seth Rollins, Cody doesn't look like the star he is coming out of night 2 of Mania. Just massive praise to Seth Rollins. Cody did his job. Rock, though, the bumps Rock was taking. Like, I didn't.
Did he look like he hadn't wrestled in 9 years or 10 years?
No, he put in the work to get back to that shape. And so praising The Rock, absolutely. And of course, you have to praise Roman Reigns for his role in that match as well. The one thing I notice about Roman Reigns throughout this entire run is that he doesn't miss his times ever.
Nope.
He is on time for absolutely everything. Everything works. The cameras know exactly where he's going to be at all times. They don't miss a single thing Roman Reigns does. And I just got to praise him for that, because like his role in that match was incredible.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that. And from that, Con, I think with everything that we've talked about, I think we've just done favorite moments of night one.
Yeah, so let's get into night two, eh?
No, how about we just save favorite moments of night two for a secondary video?
That works for me.
And we can find, is there any other moments you think we missed for night one?
I mean, we could talk about, like,
can I talk about a disappointment for night one?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about that.
I'm going to talk about one disappointment for night one, because there was so much hype around it. And that was Jimmy versus Jay.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Don't get me wrong. I love the story build into it. It just felt like something was missing.
Another 5 minutes at least was missing. And also, I think this was one of those situations where it was hurt by the crowd being as cold as they were, because they were leaning into the idea of yeet versus no yeet. And the entire match, they were hoping the arena would be yeet, no yeet. And it would elevate the match to feel like, and I'm not going to say it would be on this level, but like Hogan versus Rock, where it was just the crowd carrying it, right? That's what they were trying to go for. And I've seen worse matches at WrestleMania. Do not get me wrong. There is far worse matches, but I don't think I've gone into a match with that much hype, with like that great of a video package, and walking out feeling like it was meh.
It's like, what just happened?
Yeah, what just happened? Like it didn't hit.
Feel like it was over.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like it was over. It didn't feel like there was another chapter though, and it didn't feel like, I don't know. It
sucks to say that there are 20 seconds on the ramp going through the table. The brawl on the ramp was better than their entire match. It sucks to say.
It was. And, but I don't want to leave this video on a negative.
Because it was it's not the worst match of all time. I'm going to say that. Like, it's still, you look at the match for what it is, it's not bad. Yeah. It's just, I think fans were, our expectations were up here. It's the battle of the Usos.
I said it was going to be the best match of the WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's where I said. So to not leave it on a negative, I'm going to start with something, or I'm going to finish with something that it was just overall WrestleMania night one was the overall production.
Okay. Yeah. Lee
camera
fitting.
Angles.
Round of applause to Lee.
Angles. The pyro was right. Like the pyro that hit for the start of Rhea's music.
Yep.
The pyro at the end of the night. Like just everything. The Robert Roode style entrance for Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. The special entrances, all that kind of stuff. Everything felt a lot more exuberant.
Yep. That's a great word. It's a great word for it.
And even the camera angles on Samantha that we got a lot of. We got a lot of camera angles on the commentary team. Even the replays of the commentary team, the Spanish commentary team, jumping into the crowd to get away because they know their table is going to explode.
Yeah.
Just the overall production of WrestleMania and WrestleMania Night 1 for sure, I absolutely love.
And I got one more. Okay, one more, dude. One more. Samantha Irvin, you mentioned her name. She was a star of many moments here of WrestleMania. I've said it before. I don't have this nostalgia from the Fink. I didn't grow up during that time. I started watching wrestling in 2005. So Justin Roberts, Lillian Garcia, JoJo, Tony Chimmel, like those are kind of the people I grew up with. For me, Samantha Irvin is the greatest ring announcer of all time. She is absolutely incredible at everything she does, and she deserves the praise she's been getting.
Absolutely. And that's where we're ended. Guys, let us know in the comments if you're listening to us on audio, give us a review. And if you have the ability to comment, let us know what your favorite favorite moment of night one was. We covered a lot of them. Did we miss something? And as if you're over on our YouTube channel, make sure you leave a like comment, and don't forget to put the bell on for all notifications. Con, where can people find you before I trip over my tongue even more?
Well, you can find me at Conman167 on all your social media, whether that be Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. You'll find me. Just type in Conman167.
And guys, all our communication links and social links will be down below. Don't forget to click on our Next Level link and click and download Next Level for opportunities to win 2K24 WrestleMania versions that will be potentially autographed by a famous superstar.
Ooh.
Anyways, guys, take care. And like always, be good people.